everybody. Welcome to the Toku News Network podcast. I am Kyle.
I'm Alex.
I'm Nick.
And this is going to be our podcast. And hopefully y'all listen to episode 0 because we're not going into any extra explanation. We're just going right into it. So, if you're listening to number 1, stop. Go back to number 0. So let's just start it off. So we'll get into Ninninger. The episode we're covering today is going to be episode number 32, which was Shinobi 32, Extremely Hot Ninja, which featured the combination of Gekiyatsu Daio, the Gekiyatsu shurikens, or mecha, and Gekiyatsu Daio. So the final mecha of the season. We'll see their combination with Lion Ha-Oh soon, probably, but that's going to be the last big thing that they do for the series. So the rest of the series is either going to be single-person power-ups, if they do anything, or just more exposition, which this show desperately needs.
Sounds about right.
So yeah, I mean, there's not really anything to talk about with this episode other than Gekiyatsu Daio, but I like it. I like it a lot. I like the design of it. I'm talking a lot, so you guys should say things.
We did finally get to see why QMon had all those fucking ass gears.
Yes, why
he was sacrificing all those people as pawns and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Which was nice because, you know, from the very first episode when we saw the eagle one was the first one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or no, it was the hawk, Taka.
Eagle, hawk, difference?
There's a difference.
There's a difference.
Okay, fine, Mr. Veterinarian. Okay.
Nick probably won't talk much right now because he's not caught up yet. He's only watched through episode 10 so far. Yeah. So hopefully by the next podcast he'll have some things to say about Ninninger. But until then...
I like it so far.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's an alright show, I guess, for the first few episodes. It gets better. But so yeah, Gekiyatsu Daio is good. From the toys that I've seen, Ha-Oh Gekiyatsu Daio is going to be as nuts as Ha-Oh Shurikenjin.
Which the toy is huge for, again. I mean, you have the fucking...
oh yeah, I have
the build one, the little one.
The mini pla.
And that thing is almost as tall as your Tokyo.
Yeah. So I have the mini pla of all of the... Ninninger mecha so far, besides Gekiyatsu Daio, because I don't think it's out yet. But the full mini pla Ha-Oh, after you build it, is roughly the size of like the super mega drill slash super mega T-Rex slash or Q-Rex, you know, Zord, whatever. It's roughly the same size if you take off the limbs. So it's a big thing, and the mini pla are supposed to be little mecha that you build, but this thing is huge. So, you know, it's great though. It's nuts. It's just so crazy.
One thing we didn't mention is that in episode 30, I'm going to butcher his name probably because A, I can't speak and I can't read this. Ryuma Baba, the guy who played Go Buster Blue.
Yeah, so
was in 30.
we forgot to mention, but yeah, he was the brainwashed guy by the bad guy.
More like possessed, really.
Yeah, so Blue Buster was unintentionally in the show.
A ninja.
So
yeah.
That's cool, and he was a ninja.
I thought he was an engineer.
Yeah. He was. He wanted to be. I don't know. I'm almost finished with Go Busters. We'll get into that later. So I think that's really going to be it for Ninninger, because like there wasn't much that happened this week. It was just Gekiyatsu Daio.
It also the week of Ghost premiere was when 32 premiered, and they mentioned souls like every other minute of the episode.
Yes, because they were trying to make the Gekiyatsu
Atomonin come to life.
So they kept mentioning souls, and it's probably just a coincidence that it happened to be with Ghost, whose whole thing is souls. But nice
and fashion,
nice little thing, and fashion. All right, so let's get into Kamen Rider then. Ghost.
I love it.
So, myself and Alex have been watching for a while. Alex has been watching since at least Drive started.
Yep.
Possibly a little bit before that. I've been watching since Gaim started, and even a little bit before that. So, but Nick just started, literally just started a month ago.
Yeah.
Watching Sentai and Kamen Rider. We got him into it, indoctrinated into the lifestyle. So, he's new to this. Ghost is pretty much the first thing that he's seen so far. Nick, tell me what you think about Ghost.
Ghost was amazing.
Nick has a lot of things to say about Ghost.
While I was watching, I was taking notes. And, like, in the first scene, literally kills an entire people on a ghost, or, like, pirate ship ride. And I was like, whoa! What? And I was just impressed by how much of a kid show this is.
Oh, yeah.
Not.
Synopsis of the Ghost episode. Obviously, it's you know, a first episode, so he doesn't have any of his powers, he doesn't know anything really, and he just gets thrust into this. I do really enjoy the fact that episode 1, he dies. Just immediate death.
8 minutes. Exactly 8 minutes to him.
It's always the writer dies, like, right near the very end of the show to get his final power up, but no.
Like
he dies immediately. He dies immediately just to get his powers in the first place. So, I do like that. So he dies, he gets sent into this weird realm. I guess it's, I'm not going to say it's the afterlife.
Probably limbo.
But it's a limbo.
It's
equivalent
to limbo.
We meet Senin, and I guess he's going to be the guy. And that helps him through. And, you know, it's going to be... He comes back, and he has the ghost powers, and he starts using it, and the other ghosts start fighting him, and they're like, oh, shit, now he can fight. And he kills them both. And then there's this weird, creepy dude who's just watching over them. So...
And a hot guy with him. There was a hot guy.
And there was the hot guy. Sure. So, you know, this is already, episode 1, shaping up to be a really
good
great series. Yeah. I watched this and had the same feeling as I did when I watched the first episode of Drive. There was a nice bit of intrigue with the original Royd Mewd, with heart and brain, and you didn't really know what was going on, but you were, like, really invested, despite only seeing them for, like, 30 seconds.
It catches you like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's
and that's the same thing here, is, you know, we have no idea who this guy is, what he's doing. We know that he made those 2 other ghosts, but, like, what is going on here? So it pulls you in real well, and I haven't ever really gotten that from a Sentai that I ever started, but I definitely got that from Ghost.
Yeah.
So yeah, he just gets his powers, and that's the whole synopsis of the first episode.
He also gets the first
and he gets the first
luminary icon.
Mm-hmm. Which I did see Toy Scans, a magazine of toys that broke it down between, out of the 15 icons of the great men, out of Ghost, Spectre, and Necrom being the third rider, because we are getting 3 this time, which of those 3 gets which icons. So it looks like Ghost is getting Ore, he's getting Burst, so we've already seen the powered up icon. He gets, I think, the first 8. So he gets 1 through 8, icons 1 through 8.
Yeah.
Spectre gets the Spectre icon, and then 9, 10, and 11.
I know one of those is King Tut.
Yeah, and then
he combines it with his rod weapon and his phone to make a sickle. So
yes, and then Necrom gets his, and 13, 14, and 15.
Okay.
So Ghost is obviously going to be the big one that gets most of the powers, and Spectre and Necrom do still get their own
a fair amount.
Yeah, so you know it's not the general. It's not like Drive was with Mach, where he got just a couple, and Drive got
everything.
30 cars, and Mach gets like 4 signal bikes that he uses like twice.
Yeah, I didn't like that, honestly. And one thing I didn't like is that, you know, even though the signal bikes were for Mach, I feel like, you know, I feel like Chase could have used them at some point.
Yeah. But this is not about Drive. This is about Ghost. So that's sort of the breakdown, which is going to be nice that, you know, Ghost isn't going to just have all of the powers, and his secondary riders are going to have none of the powers. They're going to have something. And they're all going to be fighting, which is going to be great. But that's all we got now so
Isn't
far.
Necrom's Transformer, though, like a wrist tech thing?
No, I think it's going to be the drive, or not the drive driver. I'm so used to saying drive driver. I think it's going to be the ghost driver still.
No, I read somewhere that his was a wrist type item based off of eyedroppers. Which,
I did see that. Yeah,
which,
yeah,
by
yeah,
the way,
yeah.
I could use some right now because my eyes are killing me. Yeah, look on his shadow scan.
Yeah,
he's got a big bulky built up on his arm.
Interesting.
And his extra powers so far are Grim and Sunzo. So those will be cool to see.
Yep. The Mega
okay.
brace transformation device.
Yes, okay, I did see that.
Eyedropper based transformation device.
Eyedropper.
That's interesting.
So yeah, this series is shaping up to be pretty good. Nick, you have way more things to say, I know.
Yeah.
Nick, anything you want to say about Ghost?
There was a couple of things that I saw that were interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he dies and comes into that world, kind of an anime fan, and there was the flowers.
Kind of.
Yeah, I'm kind of I'm an anime.
Weeaboo! But so are all of us are. All of us are. So like whatever.
I don't know what the name of the flowers are, but they were the same flowers in Tokyo Ghoul when the main character from that transformed and accepted.
Yes.
Yeah, those flowers. I don't know what those flowers are called.
I don't know the name in English or Japanese. I think I know it in Spanish, but I'm not sure. I'm not going to try. I'm going to make a fool of myself by accident if I do try.
Yeah.
But yeah, the symbolism of death was in the other world.
Yeah.
One thing I like is that of all the series that I've watched for writers, when they change forms, it's very much, almost entirely a full change.
Yeah.
This one's more superficial, just on the outside, like the hoodies and the masks.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
The body armor stays the same, more or less.
I do want to say, leading up to Ghost, before we actually saw him transform and saw him in a good light, where he was the main focus, as opposed to Drive, where he was just sort of in the background or in blurred shots. Seeing him transform, seeing his full suit, and doing all the close-ups that they do on a first henshin, I like it. I was on the fence for a long time. I saw the suit and I'm like, I don't know.
Because of the hoodies or because of the actual body armor part?
I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was that brought me off of it. Alex has a slight cough. Please.
Sorry about that.
He's been sick, but everything's fine now. Just there'll be some coughing. Coughing. Anyways, getting off track again. So I was real not sure about Ghost's design, and then I saw how the chest was clear and everything underneath was all the detail, and even his shin parts and leg parts were kind of like that. His arms were similar, and just I don't know what resonates with me about that, but I love it. I absolutely love his design. I love everything about it. The horn is weird, but whatever. He's a unicorn. You can be whatever you want. Listen, if you have the chance to be a unicorn, you be a ghost unicorn.
Unless you can be Batman.
So his design is really cool. His bike, I like the way that the bike is a normal dirt bike when he's not transformed, and then he does it, and it's a ghost horse. It is a ghost horse.
Your ghost takes over the bike and turns
that is
it into
really
a ghost.
cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool to me, is that it becomes this death horse. And then
Might be a reference to what is it? To the horseman of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Death riding in on his horse.
Oh yeah,
it could be. That would
also,
be cool.
Also, next thing, kicked the motherfucker to death.
To death.
Yeah, that's a common thing with all the riders. They have a finishing move, different ones actually, depending on their weapons. And the main one for almost all of them is a rider kick, where they literally kick
Nick will
the hell
learn
out of
this.
someone.
Rider kick started with Rider Ichigo, and that was his thing. And then for most of the Showa era, their thing was the kick. And after the show went off the air and then came back in the Heisei era, they still had the rider kick, but it wasn't the big thing for them. So they still added in as a show to be like,
because continuity.
reverent towards the older Kamen Riders, but it's not really.
There's
a
more
thing that
diversity
happens.
in the options
Yeah.
for a finishing attack because some of them have swords, so slashes, guns, shooting attacks.
The gun saber.
Oh, you and your fucking.
Let's talk
boner
about this
over
for a
that
second.
thing.
Let's talk
You and
about
your
this for a
boner
second
over
because
that
I
thing.
want it. I want it so bad. I keep watching YouTube videos on it, and the proportions in gun mode are perfect. The proportions in sword mode are not. It's a little short, but to me it looks bulky enough that it could be fine.
Yeah.
On the show, it's huge, which is great. It's just this giant thing. It's almost more like a club than a blade, but it's amazing, and I love it. And it turns into a gun and a halberd, and you can dual wield it. It's nuts.
I do like how he does the finishing move where he has to put the hilt of the main one over
So it's very
to
similar.
make eye contact, which makes me happy. Like it's.
What is this from?
Ghost.
Okay. Oh, right.
The saber.
Yeah. Sorry. It's
Damn,
been like
son.
a week. We should have rewatched it.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll watch it after the podcast.
Yes. So it's. I mean, I think they did that just because they already had that sort of gimmick with Drive, where the shift cars, the shift brace
Was separate of the actual belt.
was separate to the belt and used that IR,
Yeah,
and they
right.
wanted to keep using the IR, so they brought in
But
the
it's
sword gun.
the thing is like the fact that you actually put the over the belt and make eye contact.
Yeah.
And the kind of the main theme of the whole show, besides ghosts and
Eyes.
and clothing, is eyeballs. Just straight up eyes. So I thought it was a cute little like, hey, what we did with eyes being on everything, like it's on their clothing, it's on their
1-800 contacts. They don't have my brand. My brand.
Look with your special eyes.
My brand.
They're making a reference to a really, really funny post on the that's on Tumblr now, which honestly fits so well. I loved it.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So, Ghost, we all love it. It's great, and it's shaping up to look like a really good show. We'll see.
Actually, I forgot now. There were some toy scans of Spectre's Spectre's actual toy. Him, his power ups, and his bike. And from the looks of it, his bike is part of the Houdini icon, which he gets.
Ooh.
He gets Houdini. I know that he gets Houdini and then one more. I don't know who it is though. And it's weird because when you see him on the bike, which by the way, design-wise is fucking sexy, that's what turns me on. Bikes, like vehicles, nice vehicles, whatever. It is a nice bike.
Bikes and Japanese bugmen.
Yeah, basically.
Mechanical Japanese bugmen.
Yeah, let's add that because I don't want to be the weirdo.
Jay, Chase, you motherfucker.
Shut the fuck up. And when you see him with the hoodie, for the Houdini hoodie, god damn it, it's an onomatopoeia almost. From the back, you can see these big, huge butterfly wing almost kind of things that have tires on the top and bottom. So like the
I did see that. I did see that.
Literally split in half and became part of the hood.
Yeah, I did see that. That's cool.
My biggest question is what does the bike have to do with Houdini? Because like all I know about Houdini is great escape artist. He died when someone punched him in the heart and stopped his heart.
No, he appendix failed.
Oh really?
Yes.
Oh, I always heard it was he got punched in the heart.
No,
the
he was punched. It was just that I think he was punched like in the back when he wasn't expecting it. Because that was his thing, was that you could punch him as hard as you want and he wouldn't flinch, he wouldn't do anything. But that was when he was prepared. Someone came up and just hit him, and he wasn't ready for it, so things ruptured.
Ew.
Yes.
Oh. Sorry, I haven't really looked at any of the spoilers of the things and looking at.
Yeah.
Some of the
Nick
things.
doesn't know this. I'm a spoilery person. I love spoilers. Spoilers are my thing. I spoil myself all the time.
I've been avoiding spoilers, but yeah,
No.
Billy the Kid. That's kind of cool.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
And-
the kid's gonna be nice.
Beethoven. That should be.
I do like that. For different icons, you have to combine the sword or the rod with different gadgets.
Yes.
The snake phone to make the sickle. The condor phone to make the.
And I did see a toy review of the Condor phone today, and I didn't realize it was a phone that was like a rotary phone.
Yeah.
I thought it was just gonna be a flip phone, like they always are, like it was in Double with the Beatles.
Yeah, or Dana with the
Yes,
Terror Terminal.
but this was a yeah, it's just
like a late, like an early 1900s rotary phone.
yeah, super weird, but fitting. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Ghost, and we're liking it. It's good.
Very much so.
And super pumped for the series, and really just can't wait to see the rest of it. This is going to be a good year.
My biggest question is, how do they see out the helmets? Because, like, the eyes on...
They're ghosts. It doesn't matter.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you know, for the poor person wearing the damn outfit for the suit, you know, like, is it just tinted glass, or what is it?
I'm sure they do the same thing as Sentai, where it is like a tinted glass on the inside, so it's basically a one-way mirror.
Okay.
Effect.
Because like, think of like Musashi and all that when it's mostly black.
Yeah.
Like, how are they gonna see how? Are they just like told do this and hopefully you won't hit a wall or a person or a camera?
No, it's on the outside it looks solid. On the inside it's darker. It's a little blurry, but you can still see out of it.
Okay.
Bringing up stuff, before the podcast you told me to bring up controlling the mechs.
All right. So what we're going to do now is we are going to...
Edit time.
My tongue exploded just now, and y'all can't see it, but it's just blood everywhere.
Gross.
Just tongue everywhere. We're going to transition into Nick's newbie corner right now. Since Nick is brand new to this, we're gonna start this and get his thoughts on it.
Yeah.
So Nick, what is your history with Tokusatsu,
So
including Power Rangers?
which was forever ago. Most of Power Rangers, and then up to not Dino Charge, the
Dino
first
Thunder.
Dino Thunder,
Mm-hmm.
which I enjoyed.
Yeah.
But now,
So early
ago.
2000s.
yeah. So I haven't seen anything since.
So this is all brand new to
Yeah.
Nick.
Yeah.
So for like at least a year, this is just going to be our thing. Is we're going to have Nick's newbie corner because he's the newbie. So Nick, tell us what you think about Sentai, Kamen Rider, all that as a fresh perspective coming into all this.
Seeing both Ninja and Ghost, obviously so far Kamen Rider has me way more because because when you have a set of team of people, you get, oh look, red, look,
Yeah.
I've got a red one. I got a red one.
Ninja's
Oh
been
look,
really
you have a
bad.
blue one. I don't care. I've got a red one.
The
I am the
Ninja's
winner.
been really bad at being the Red Ranger show lately.
Which in Kamen Rider, there's right now at least one character. I don't have to worry about, oh, what are their ideas and thoughts. Nope, one character.
So to focus on the one.
Yeah. So it feels
And then
more
they'll bring in
focused.
like a second with Spectre, and they'll
Yeah.
bring in a third with
Pretty
Necron,
early
but
too.
like,
He's gonna come in like in the third or fourth episode.
Oh wow.
yes.
I always love it when they bring him in really early because that's when shit gets really good really quickly.
Yeah.
But we have already focused on one, so we know who he is, his backstory, and then they might want to they'll introduce others.
Yeah.
And then they'll focus on them hopefully, and not first guy.
They do a very good job of that in the Kamen Rider shows. They bring in the second one, and depending on how much of a dick they are, cough, cough, Axel, at first, you don't really know much about them.
Yeah.
But then as the series goes on, and they become less overtly dickish. They do open up the character more, and you learn more about them.
Which is good. But yeah, mech controls.
Yes. Part of this time I want to take is any weird questions that he might have as a newbie. I would like to answer at this point. Either myself or Alex, whoever knows, whatever. Mech controls.
Yeah.
So, Ninninger, they control Shurikenjin by just sticking their Ichibanto in some holes, and then Takaharu or Yakun sits in the seat, and they move and that moves the whole mech somehow. Mech controls are a thing that you just don't want to ask any questions about. You just have to assume that they know what they're doing.
Like the Genki Rangers, they didn't have any controls. It was literally just, they were in a black
Yeah.
room, and they just moved around, and that moved the mecha.
And that's usually the best way to do it. The way that makes the most sense is a sort of mysticism, because if you try and add any
Logic,
sort of
too much
logic or technology to it, like with Bison King especially, you see it, because he's got the handlebars and the ropes. And how does that move a whole mech? But like it's with with Bison King, With Gekiatsu Daio, it works because they're all just standing there.
And
Inside
they move
of it,
around.
and they move around.
And it moves the mech.
With Geki Ranger is what I meant to say. With Mystic Force / Magi Ranger, it works because they're not,
Tech base, they're magic base, and
yeah.
it's one of those things that they're also on a big chessboard, so they think like their individual thoughts, moving them on the chessboard also move the mech as a whole.
Abba Ranger, I think, brought this together really well. Those two ideas of technology and mysticism, because they did have the technological aspect in their cockpit.
Yeah.
With the all the, I mean, there was wires and shit everywhere, but they were still controlling with just holding their hands on the panel and controlling it that way. So it was a nice balance. I find that the shows that use the mech controls with a lot of technology, you start overthinking it too much.
The only one I've never done that with is Go Busters, and for one reason only. They explain it at the very beginning, it's too much for one person, so we have the robots in there helping you.
Yes.
Go Busters at the very beginning was just like, you know what, controlling this big giant-ass robot, too much for one person.
And then
we're going to have a little robot helping you inside, moving things.
And then, at that point, despite the fact that he's only got like a set of handlebars or a steering wheel, there's also a buddy droid in there to help out. Speaking of actually, we'll get to that in a second. Anything else you'd like to add, Nick, as a newbie?
We covered that. Give me just a second. One thing about Ghost that kind of entertained me at the end, towards the end, he kicked someone so hard, literally, the background changed. It was like, oh, we're over here, kick, jump cut. I was like, whoa, a little weird. It's just using jump cuts like that was a little strange.
The other thing that that goes with that, Kamen Rider and Sentai do that a lot. They'll try and even if they are in a completely like city setting, they will hit someone so hard that they move to like a canyon
or the ocean.
And there's also a thing with Kamen Rider. Always, there is a fight either in water or on a beach. Always, and we got that out of the way. Episode
Pretty
1.
Quickly, yeah.
Episode 1 of Ghost. He died, and he had the water battle.
They
so
got two of their major
that.
tropes out of the way.
Yes, already we're done with that. We've checked them off the list. If we see them again, great, but that's already done.
They're extra
and
points.
I mean, I don't know what else we're gonna do for the rest of the series. I guess he's just gonna
Be
Fight
awesome.
in the forest.
It's gonna be weird, but yeah. So the scene changed. That happens a lot too. You'll see that a lot. Hit someone so hard that they just change
Shift
where they're
location.
at entirely.
Like space and time warp, and you end up somewhere else.
God, it's so crazy. It's just nuts. That's been my word of the month recently.
Nuts?
Is nuts. Things are nuts.
Got him.
All right. So now let's go to our personal notes. I already talked about Ghost design. Again, I really love the Ghost design. I was so on the fence, and now it's fantastic. The Ghost change figures are looking good too. The budget gimmick line, where they do have a nice base mold.
Yeah.
So the base mold looks really good, but also the hoods actually have a gimmick where the head will lift up.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Where it would be the normal Ghost head, you can pull that down, and there's actually the part with just the eyes.
Nice.
So that looks really good. I might get some of those just to display. I think from what I saw, it looked like they may have come with a stand so that you can have the hood off to the side.
Sort of floating.
Every review I've seen has had that, but that may just be that every reviewer has that. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes.
I mean, who knows how many people have extra stands running around.
But those look really cool. I like them. So I think I might get some of those.
The only note I have that we haven't covered is that depending on if all goes well with filming, Ghost will premiere exactly to the day on the 45th anniversary of Kamen Rider.
Yes. So that's gonna probably
That's like
be a
sometime in
big
February, I
episode.
believe.
Yeah, sometime in February or March. So that's going to be a big episode. That's going to be a really cool one. So we'll see how that goes. as you and I have seen, Alex, and as you will probably see, Nick, there's some big things that they plan sometimes, and then disaster strikes, and they have to push things back. The episode with Hurricaneger and Kakaranger in Ninninger was supposed to air the day of the 40th anniversary of Sentai, but it got pushed back because Tokuger got pushed back.
Yeah.
Because the Japanese journalist was killed in Iraq by ISIS.
Dang.
Or not Iraq, the Middle East.
Somewhere in the Middle East.
Yeah. So things are supposed to happen. They have good ideas, but they just don't.
You can't really plan what's going to happen.
Yeah, you can't plan for a national disaster.
Yep.
So and that's something else that I wanted to talk about too was Gokaiger actually
was supposed to premiere around the same time as the big earthquake. Like what was it, 4 or 5 years ago?
It was. What was the thing with it? It wasn't that. It had premiered.
Oh.
But it wasn't supposed to have nearly as many cameos as it did.
No.
And then the tsunami happened with all the water coming in, and then the nuclear plants blew up. And as a show of support of Japan and just wanting to get everyone's spirits and morale up, more of these actors.
Everyone who could, was like, I want to be in an episode. I don't care if it's like 2 seconds. I want to be in an episode.
More of these actors actively came back and said, let's get the morale back up. Let's get everyone.
If you can put me in an episode, let's do it.
So it's a thing that happens.
Which I honestly thought was a cool thing, and I read about it. It was an old ass interview too on YouTube, and it was poorly translated, so it was some really choppy English. But they originally wanted to do a lot more episodes like the one where Ahim destroys the guy who killed her parents and destroyed her whole planet. More episodes like that, that reveal the characters more. But they had to shorten them or make them kind of side things that were less relevant. Unfortunately, because all the people were coming in and they wanted to use them. All the people that were previous Sentai heroes, they wanted to use them.
Yeah.
But that still, it made for a good series. That was an amazing series.
Yes. Gokaiger, one of the best, if not the best. Nick hasn't watched it yet.
25th anniversary, they better have lived up to it.
And Alex and I have watched it. It was actually my first foray into Sentai, coming from Power Rangers. It's a great place to start if
mine was Kyoryuger's. Mine was Tokyuger's. I watched them really out of order. It was Tokyuger, Kyoryuger, Gokaiger, then Go Buster. I watched them really out of order.
Yeah.
Still loved all of them.
For anyone who may be listening to this and is just getting new to this, definitely if you're watching the newest Sentai, keep watching it. It's great. Try and keep up. But go back and watch Gokaiger before you watch anything else. It really sums up the first 34 Sentai pretty well.
That's kind of its whole thing, really.
Yeah, it goes back and looks on all of the past 34 Sentai, even the movies. Make sure you watch the movies too, because the Gokaiger versus Goseiger Great 199 battle is fantastic.
Beyond amazing, honestly.
Yes.
It was so good.
Having 200 heroes all together.
205.
No, because the Gokaigers were the 6 Gokaigers were 195 through 200.
No, because before that there was 199. Before they got introduced.
Was it?
Yeah, it was 199.
It was my understanding that they were the ones that added up to 199, and then Gokai Silver comes in and he's number 200.
No, it was 199 because like the very beginning intro, it was the 199 heroes, the battle of the 199 heroes. It was before them.
Shit, never mind. Okay, don't listen to me. Listen, sometimes I get some things wrong.
It's okay.
It's fine.
You're only human.
I know. Talking about finishers. And coming back to Gokaiger, the icons seem to be very similar to the great powers of the Gokaiger, in that he's got to.
They embody the person.
They embody the person, and he's got to go find them and get permission to use some of them, and then he's got a thing that he can use to call on that power, an icon, an item to use to get that power. So it's it's similar to slightly similar to Gokaiger. It's not a great approximation, but it's
got some recurring themes.
Something, yeah. One last thing before we go is as the American fans know, Power Rangers in our childhood was a pretty great show because we didn't know any better, to be honest. But even a lot of the later seasons are okay. They're not great. Super Mega Force was a super mega fail, but
Yeah, keep going your thing. I have a thing I need to tell you though.
okay. He's giving me a weird look, and I'm like, "What do you want from me?"
That was my realization phase. I'm sorry.
Okay. But Saban does his best. Saban does their best to bring
I thought it was Satan.
the show. It's Saban.
Oh really?
Yeah, Haim Saban.
That's weird.
But the Saban company does their best to bring things over and make it interesting. Sometimes they keep some things the same. Sometimes they don't. Dino Charge is shaping up to be something where they keep a couple of things the same, and they do have some throwbacks. It's nice to know that Blue Ranger, Yoshi, what's his last name?
It's
I
like
can't remember.
Saruda? Something like that. It's like Saruda, something like that.
Yeah. He's a Sentai fan, and so he's been allowed to throw some things in there. Like episode 3, he's humming the Kyoryuger theme song.
I love that.
So it's great, that they do this, but obviously there's some things that the fandom is really mad about, like Super Mega Force and Mega Force.
Calm down.
In general, I don't like Super Mega Force.
Neither did I, sweetie. But now that you actually mentioned Yoshi, he's the thing I want to tell you about. He posted on Instagram, and he is going to be in an episode of Ninninger.
So,
I don't know if it's 34 or 35, one of those two.
34.
Oh, 34?
It's 34 for sure. Okay, so not next week, but the week after, we will see Yoshi. We will see Yoshi in Ninninger, and it's going to be great.
That'd be kind of great.
Which makes more sense after seeing all the Instagrams about him being in Japan and meeting Kyoryu Blue, Kyoryu Sion, all of them.
Yes.
It makes more sense of why he was there, and it wasn't just a trip to take. So that's cool. But a question that I have for the listeners, and I'm gonna try and pose a question to everybody at the end. I just sort of came up with this, and maybe we'll keep this a recurring theme. I've asked the two of these guys here, but the Power Rangers equivalent of Ninninger and Tokyuger, since we haven't gotten that yet either. If Saban decides to bring Tokyuger and Ninninger over to America, what do they call the series? It's Power Rangers what? So what would the subtitle be for these series? Let us know. Let us know what you think. Want to get some fan interaction going on here. They've done some weird things in the past where they didn't quite the names didn't quite match up. Like Jungle Fury.
Yeah, with the Geki Rangers.
It was weird because those 3 particular big cats don't really live in jungles.
No.
So
no, cheetahs live in plains.
And neither do wolves do, but not in the same jungles. And rhinos most definitely don't live.
They're also plains. Yes.
So just let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about that. If they do bring Power Rangers over, or if they do bring those into Power Rangers, what is the title?
I'm fairly certain they are gonna bring Ninninger because ninjas are popular. They're gonna definitely do that one.
I'm real skeptical about Tokyuger, but I'm hopeful.
Me too, because
hopeful but skeptical.
Trains aren't a thing in the U.S. as much as they are in Japan. So
you don't even know the half of it. They most certainly are, but we'll get into that another day. So here we go. This is it. This is episode 1. Thanks for listening, guys. We will see you later.
Wait.
Bye.
I wanted to, before we end, we
premature ending.
This is not a talking about Sentai and Kamen Rider. This is personal thoughts, things that are coming up. Deadpool. Because I had Kyle watch the trailer for Deadpool.
Alright, no, this, okay, for anyone that may be screaming right now, this counts. This counts because I did find this out the other day. 3 of the Sentai, specifically Battle Fever J, the Denji Men, and Sun Vulcan were joint properties of Toei and Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
So back in the 70s, Stan Lee teamed up with Toei to make these 3 Sentai, and they were sort of a test for, is this really going to do that well in Japan? Should we bring this to America? The first answer, yes. Second answer, no thank you. Which is sad. We could have seen Sentai a long time ago. But, you know, whatever. But we're bringing this in because it's Marvel, and I'm counting it. So, Deadpool looks great.
Yes, I'm super excited. Have you seen the trailer?
I have. But you know what this means, though? If they wanted to, like, Marvel could make, like, a Jack movie if they wanted to, or a Denji Man movie if they had half a mind to.
I mean, I plan on, like, finding a convention somewhere that is Marvel and, like, going as Vol Eagle. Because, yes, I do want a helmet with a giant iron eagle on my forehead.
Looks more bronze, really, but...
Whatever.
Do you, buddy.
Yes. Okay. So now that we've said that,
yes,
Deadpool's going to be amazing. This is the end. Bye, guys!
See ya.
Adios.